Across the country and around the world, across the street and around the corner, this is Over the Culture. This is Over the Culture podcast, where you get to hear my spin on things I like music, sports entertainment, movies, TV shows, and your mom. You also get to hear about things I don't like dumb niggas and big trucks. And I'm your bastard of ceremonies, the one gig kid, Pat Stay Black, Alex Black, Reefer Sutherland, Luke Fly Talker, the most interesting blurred in podcasting, the troller of trolls, the prince of petty, Steve G. It's August 22nd, 2021.
21.
And yeah, I do not like dumb niggas. Especially dumb niggas who own big trucks. And most motherfuckers who own big trucks are dumb niggas. And I've said this numerous amount of times on this podcast. So, from the department of the redundancy department, I fucking hate you dumb niggas. And by dumb niggas, I'm not referring to my black brothers and sisters. No, I'm talking about niggas. I'm not talking about my African Americans. I'm talking about niggas. Word to Chris Rock. There's a difference. I was going to Waffle House last night because, you know, there's a Waffle House on every block. A Waffle House and a Quick Trip in Atlanta. Right across the street from the fried chicken spot. And I was hungry. I was hangry. I'm pulling up into the Waffle House parking lot. But before I could get into the parking lot, I had to wait for this dumb nigga to try to maneuver his fucking big F125 350, whatever the fuck. And it's just taking up everything in this world. It was as if it was just me, my Nissan, and that big ass truck in this world. That was what was in front of me in order to get my omelet. And this nigga just had the most difficult time getting the fuck out of my way, to the point where I had to take it upon myself and go in reverse. And that shouldn't be my responsibility because you have a big ass truck. Because you have a big ass truck, that should be your responsibility to know how to take those wide turns and know how to get the fuck out of people's way. But most big trucks and dumb niggas in big trucks that I've encountered, they don't have that kind of responsibility. They don't have that kind of empathy, that kind of, compassion, consideration. It's an added responsibility that you take on when you have a big ass truck. Take that wide ass turn if you're going to make that left or that right. That's what you got to do. You can't make little car moves. You can't make Nissan Altima moves. You gotta make big drug moves, you big dumb nigga. In your big dumb truck. I fucking hate y'all. I swear. So I got in reverse and the motherfucker finally got the fuck up out of that parking lot so I can get my omelet with hash browns on the side. Now it's Virgo season. You Leos, y'all had y'all's time. Y'all had y'all's motherfucking time. You gonna get yours again next go round. But I'm gonna be real with y'all. This summer for Steve G fucking sucked. It fucking blew a bag of dongers. So Virgo season, here we are. And you Leos, I'm very close to some Leos. My brother's a Leo. My grandmother was a Leo. One of my first cousins is a Leo. I'm good friends with Leos. But goddamn, y'all are so hard to deal with. Motherfucker, I know I'm right. And us Virgos, we keeps receipts. And we can show those Leos the receipts where they're wrong. Man, point to me where I'm wrong. Okay, nigga. Well, it's here, and there. Those are the places where you were wrong. And the Leo frame of mind is just like, oh, okay, but we'll see here, but you see right here, it say this, and then over here, it say that. So it kind of say the same thing what I'm saying. So technically, I'm not wrong. Motherfucker, this is the hardest pill to swallow for you Leos. God damn, man. It's okay to say you're wrong. And you know what was really wrong? Summer of 2021.
21.
Goddamn you, summer 2021. The ongoing Nissan issues that had me just stranded, having to order out and get DoorDash and Uber and Lyft. Then I lost my grandfather. And then I found out just yesterday I lost my older cousin who used to kick it with my grandpa. They were, drinking partners, gambling partners, they came up together. And when I went to my grandpa's funeral, I got to see my cousin. His name is Jerry. Really good dude. Always been a great dude. And luckily, I was able to shake his hand, and I gave a speech at my grandpa's funeral. He shook my hand. He was like, man, good to see you. Yeah, that was a heartfelt speech, brother. And rest in paradise, cuz. Man, I love you. Your kids, your grandkids, your great nieces and nephews are going to miss you, man. But yeah, all of this happened during Leo season. And I love y'all, Leos. Like I said, I know some of y'all close and personal. But damn, y'all made it hard for Steve G. But here we go, Virgos. It's our time. It's our season. Virgo season is up on us. Word to James Harden. Word to Vince McMahon. Word to Beyonce. Word to Michael Jackson. Word to Sanaa Lathan. Word to Taraji. Word to Steve G. One of my favorite Virgos, I know him close personally, one of my favorite homies, Kelfani, aka TDF, that dude Fani, TDF, versus hair, tortoise versus hair. He graduated, got his MBA yesterday, so shout out to my mans and them. Yeah, got his master's in education. We do things, man. Upward and onward. Now, I really didn't want to talk about this, but I feel like, man, I just need to speak my piece because that's one of the purposes of my podcast. I'm sick of seeing this broad. I'm sick of hearing about this broad, Lizzo. And, I've seen people come out in her defense, especially when a guy speaks about Lizzo. She's just guarded with this shield that's tougher than the blue shield, tougher than the cops got, tougher than what they got. You can't say things about her weight, although she throws her fucking weight around. And I don't follow Lizzo. I don't listen to Lizzo. The bits and pieces of her songs that I did hear were fucking trash. Don't care for her. But because I feel like her shit has been thrusted upon my fucking timeline, I'm gonna speak on this shit because I'm sick of this fucking hefty bod. How the fuck can you expect to just get away with the shit that you're doing? You're twerking, you're popping that fucking fluffy ass at the fucking Los Angeles Lakers stadium, at the Staples Arena where the Clippers and the Lakers play. And then you act like you just can't get any kickback from it. You act like you can't, there's no ramifications behind it. Oh my God, people need to stop saying things about my weight. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Don't nobody get who? I'm so why is this on my timeline? I need to start unfollowing and unfriending motherfuckers who fuck with her. Because this is the shit that's keeping her relevant. I know more about this shit than her actual music. And apparently there's enough people to fucking give a fuck about her music because she's at awards and shit. She's doing the musical guest appearances with special host Eddie Murphy. It's SNL. That's fucking prestigious shit. Does it sound like I'm hating? I don't know, maybe. Fuck it. I don't fuck with Lizzo. That shit trash, bro. You want people to accept big women and BBWs and all this shit. But hey, there are some sexy BBWs out there. But they wear that shit gracefully. You are big and you trying to do little girl shit. So when you get called out on it, you want to cry wolf. I'm sorry, I don't have the body of a little girl. I don't have the body of a smaller woman. Blah, blah, blah. So stop doing smaller woman shit, motherfucker. Stay in your lane. Or consider this. Entertain this. If your weight is such of an issue, if it's that big of an issue, go the Adele route. I know, what a Marvel idea. Because Adele was just as big as you. Probably bigger. And she tall for a woman. But damn. She out here pulling multi-millionaire sports agents in this bitch. Yeah. She's currently dating LeBron's agent. And I feel like Lizzo kind of wants to do the same thing. She wants to pull the quote-unquote high-valued men in society. She wants to pull the Aubreys. She wants to pull the Beckhams, the Odell Beckhams, and things of that ilk. The Michael B. Jordans, the Idris Elbas. But the motherfuckers ain't checking for no goddamn Lizzo. Lizzo, why don't you ever have plus-size men in your video? Huh? How about that shit? Let's reverse this motherfucker. Turn it around. And put the spotlight on you, Lizzo. And I fucking hate your name. That's a stupid name. It's too close to lizard. And I don't fuck with lizards. I don't fuck with reptiles. They're cold-blooded. Like Charlie Murphy. R.I.P. You think you Beyonce? You think you Sanaa Lathan? You think you Portia, motherfucker? Stay in your lane. Why don't you go the Monique route? Since you are just complacent with being big, why don't you just crack on small heifers? It worked for her until she got small. That was her lane. She figured out her demographic and she built upon it. Shout out to Monique. She was representing for the big sisters and she wasn't going live. And when you went live, you wore your fucking weave wig cap, whatever the fuck that shit's called. You wore your skull cap. Yeah, it's like you want to be on this female ODB shit, but at the same time, you want to be a fucking starlet. Man, kick rocks, bitch. Scram. Who raised this broad? I just can't. And I've seen women say like, oh man, that's very feminine energy to speak on these women's issues. Like, motherfucker, she's making this all of our issue because like I said, I don't even fuck with this bitch. I don't fuck with no Lizzo. She trash. She whack. Corny. But somehow she finds herself on my timeline. And I'm fed up. I'm sick of it. It's called accountability, people. Look in the fucking mirror. Your problem ain't my problem. I'm 220, 6'1". And if I felt like I was just overdoing the BMI, the body mass index, I would do something about it. I would hit them push-ups. I would walk me a mile, at least a day. Because I take notes. God damn it. So Lizzo, yes, you got the fame, you have notoriety, and you're in the same rooms, you're in close counters, in the same circles with these people, these same men that you think you're qualified for. But you're halfway doing your homework. You're there at the door, but you're not knocking loud enough. I feel bad that I've wasted this much time on this motherfucker. But anyways, SummerSlam happened last night on Saturday. And, I entertained this shit because, my man Cena's is back, yo. John Cena was facing Roman Reigns, the little cousin of The Rock. He's a part of the royal, in the wrestling world, the royal Samoan family. It's quite a lineage, man, from The Rock to Yokozuna, the Uso brothers, the Wild Samoans from back in the day. There's a lot of talented, relevant, important wrestlers that came from this family. And I feel like that is his draw. And I'll give it to him. He has the look. He's got this Jason Momoa kind of deal with the long hair. He's ripped. He's chiseled and all that shit. He's got the look. He looks like he came off of a comic book. But he fucking sucks. He's no John Cena. A part of this professional wrestling game is have charisma, and you have zero, none. Your mic skills, nil. Non-existent. And you're the cousin of Rock? Dwayne Johnson, one of the greatest mic workers of all time? None of those genes fucking came into that? They took a break when it was your time to get born, huh? None of that shit rubbed off on you. Even the Usos have more charisma. They got some swag, they got some drip, they got the juice, but Roman, oh my God, you're a pud. I do not like you, Roman. Even with Paul Heyman, one of the greatest managers of all time in professional wrestling history, they paired Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns, and I still don't like them. They're doing everything they can to make us give a fuck about some Roman Reigns. Some people are biting. I ain't. I've already established the fact that you suck. The two moves that you use a lot throughout your matches, the spear, like that's never been done before, and the super punch. And what this motherfucker does, he fucking charges up his fist, jumps up in the air for a super punch. Yes, that's the sound he makes before he does his super punch. He fucking rifles up his fucking fist, charges into his opponent, jumps in the air for the super punch, and the shit is whack. He does about 4 or 5 of them per match. And long story short, John Cena lost to Roman Reigns, and I hated it. I kind of expected that. They got Roman Reigns beating everybody. They really want you to believe that he's a formidable superstar in this fucking sports entertainment world. You're not going to pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. God damn it. I've seen the greats. When it was happening, I've seen the Warriors. I've seen the Hogans, the Savages, the Razor Ramones, the Chris Jerichos, the Stone Colds, the Rocks, the Undertakers. I seen them. The Legion of Dooms. All those people had charisma, and you ain't it. You ain't got it. But there's something about this motherfucker that the McMahon family loves, and they got him winning belts. They got him main eventing big pay-per-views, and they let him beat John Cena. But I like the fact that my man, the Beast, Brock Lesnar, is back because he made a cameo appearance last night. God damn it. With fucking, I don't know what kind of ponytail, rat tail, cat tail that shit was on top of his head. But god damn it, that albino silverback is back. The alpha beast of all human beings. The beast incarnate, if you will. They had a stare down at the end of the match. And then Roman didn't want any parts of that. Stepped out of the ring, and this is one of those to be continued kind of deals. But I got a feeling they're going to have Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar. And I like it. This is the type of shit that's making me not want to watch the current product. I'm gonna stay in tune with these motherfuckers. I'm gonna keep up with them just to see how this shit plays out. But I kind of got an inkling they're not gonna allow Brock Lesnar to beat Roman Reigns because right now he's their golden child. They're trying to say he's their new Rock. They're trying to say he is their new John Cena. And god damn it, I am here to tell you he is not. I don't like you, nigga. Now on Friday, Rick Hyde released his latest album called Plates 2. And Plates 2 is 46 minutes, 30 seconds. It's a banger from beginning to end. And I'm just recently learning about Rick Hyde this year. And he appears to be somewhat of an acquaintance of the infamous Griselda gang. You know, those guys. I talk about them a lot on this show. And Rick Hyde, he's got some features from some of those guys. In the song Nova, he has Westside Gunn. In the song Alone, he has G Herbo and Benny the Butcher. The Butcher coming, nigga. As well as features from Killa Calion, Keisha Plum, Chase Fetty, Jay Worthy, Mayhem Lauren, El Camino, TF, Sky Zoo, Heem, and Graph. Wow, I haven't heard that name in a while. But man, yeah, Plates 2. It is, like I said, from beginning to end. If you like good hip hop, if you like Griselda, or any of the guys in Griselda, check out Plates 2. Also on Friday, Dame D.O.L.L.A. Yes, that guy, the point guard for the Portland Trail Blazers. He also starlights as a rapper. His album came out, and it's called Different on Levels the Lord Allowed. And I'm assuming that's the acronym for D.O.L.L.A. Yeah, Different on Levels the Lord Allowed. 35 minutes and 10 seconds. I'm only a couple tracks into it, but damn, that man can spit. And I might have to say, he's probably the best athlete / MC. It was Shaq for years. He was the only professional athlete to have a platinum album. Yeah, Shaq Diesel did that. And I'm not going to say Dame D.O.L.L.A. is capable of pulling off the platinum album. And that's not to undermine his talents, but it's a different climate in 2021. When Shaq came out with the first rap album, this was in the 90s, when people actually had to go to Sam Goody, to CD Warehouse, Record Exchange. You had to buy it. You had to purchase it. There's just too many avenues in these internet streets to get that shit for free 99. Or if you got the Spotify account, which I have. And that's how I was able to access Dame's album. Once again, it's different on levels the Lord allowed. And it's just not fair. This man can spit. Dame D.O.L.L.A. is not a rapper. He is an MC. He's a student of this shit. Like, you just got this wicked pull-up jumper. Can shoot from half court in playoff games, game 7, just sending teams home, packing. And in your off time, you could drop hot 16s, make killer tracks when you're not winning gold medals. And shout out to Team USA. I saw Kevin Durant's little live video that he did after winning gold. And he said, they said the world's catching up to us. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. And nigga, they are. And yeah, it's good that America's still on top. They won the gold. But nigga, you lost to France and Nigeria. Dream Team didn't do that. They was blowing motherfuckers out. Exhibition game, Pan American game, didn't give a fuck. Barkley, Drexler, Jordan, Pippen, Stockton, Malone, Ewing, Mullen, nigga, Leitner. They wasn't allowing that shit. We ain't about to lose to no France. We ain't about to lose to no motherfucking Nigeria, nigga. What the fuck? We ain't about to lose to nobody. Wakanda, you name, man, shit. So yeah, the world is catching up to us. KD, BDB, yeah. Because if they weren't, you wouldn't have lost to France and Nigeria. Cool. But I digress. Not really. But check out Dame's album. Dame D.O.L.L.A. he goes by. Different on levels the Lord allowed. But yes, all things August 22nd. In 1986, the movie Stand By Me premiered in theaters, and it is a cult classic. R.I.P. River Phoenix. In 1995, Rancid released their third studio album, And Out Come the Wolves, along with Green Day's Dookie and The Offspring Smash, both released a year before. This album helped revive mainstream popular interest in punk rock in the mid-90s and becomes one of the best-selling independent records of all time. And Out Come the Wolves eventually goes platinum. In 1997, Money Talks premieres, starring Chris Tucker and Charlie Sheen. Hey man, why you ain't got no shirt on? In 1999, SummerSlam 99 airs on pay-per-view, and in the main event, Mankind. Yes, Mick Foley beats Stone Cold and Triple H. It's probably a mediocre SummerSlam in comparison to the others, but hey, at least it had Stone Cold, Triple H, and Mankind. In 2000, Head PE releases the album Broke, and I'm a fan of Head PE, still to this day. And on that same day, KRS-One releases the album A Retrospective. In 2006, J Dilla releases The Shining, R.I.P. And on that same day, Outkast releases the album Idlewild, and that was the beginning of the end. Well, actually, this was the end for them as a duo. But hey, they're still alive, so is hope. In 2014, Sin City, A Dame to Kill For premiered in theaters. And in 2018, Forbes says George Clooney made more money in a single year, $239 million, more than any actor ever, due to sale of alcohol company, followed by Dwayne Johnson with $124 million. But more importantly, I'm going to be talking about the GZA, the genius. Born on August 22nd, 1966. And I'm going to be bringing back a segment that I haven't done in a long time, Across the Lines. I'm going to be going across the lines with the genius of the Wu-Tang Clan and the beast of X-Men. Today in sports history. In 1927, Yankee slugger Babe Ruth hits his 40th home run during his MLB record 60 home run season in New York's 9-4 loss to Cleveland Indians at Dunn Field. You take that, you fat son of a bitch. In 1933, Bill Veeck urges midsummer interleague games and a split season. In 1950, Althea Gibson becomes the first black competitor in a U.S. national tennis competition. In 1951, Harlem Globetrotters play in Olympic Stadium, Berlin, before 75,052. In 1957, Olympic heavyweight boxing champion Pete Rademacher becomes the first to contest the world title in his first professional bout. He's knocked out by Floyd Patterson in the 6th round at Sick's Stadium in Seattle. In 1959, Cincinnati Reds future Baseball Hall of Fame outfielder Frank Robinson hits 3 consecutive home runs and 6 RBIs in an 11-4 win over the St. Louis Cardinals at Crosley Field.
Ohio.
In 1959, the American Football League is officially named at a meeting in Dallas, Texas. The charter members are Dallas, New York, Houston, Denver, Los Angeles, and Minneapolis-St. Paul. In 1965, San Francisco Giants pitcher Juan Marichal hits LA Dodger catcher John Roseboro on the head with his bat, causing a 14-minute brawl. In 1975, McNichols Sports Arena in Denver opens. In 1984, Met pitcher Dwight Gooden becomes the 11th rookie to strike out 200. In 1989, Nolan Ryan strikes out his 5,000th batter. That batter was Rickey Henderson. In 1994, DNA testing links O.J. Simpson to the murders of Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman. Man, he did that shit. In 2004, American sprinter Justin Gatlin wins the coveted Olympic 100-meter gold medal in Athens in 9.85 seconds. In 2007, the Texas Rangers rout the Baltimore Orioles 30-3, the most runs scored by a team in modern MLB history. And in 2008, the Jamaican team led by Usain Bolt smashes the world 4x100-meter relay record in the final at the Beijing Olympics. And that was my half-ass sports report. Coming up, we're going to go across the lines with the GZA from the Wu-Tang Clan and the Beast from the X-Men. We'll be back after these messages. In today's birthdays for August 22nd, happy 26th birthday to English singer-songwriter Dua Lipa. Is that how you say her name? I don't know. Turning 31 today is American football player Randall Cobb. Happy 34th birthday to American wrestler Apollo Crews. Turning 35 today is English wrestler Neville. Both turning 36 today, one of my favorite tag teams, Samoan American wrestlers Jay and Jimmy Uso, the Usos. Uso. Happy 43rd birthday to English actor, comedian, writer, and television presenter James Corden. Turning 48 today is American actress, comedian, and screenwriter Kristen Wiig, one of my top 3 females from SNL ever. Yep, I said it. Turning 55 today is American rapper and producer Mr. Liquid Swords himself of the Wu-Tang Clan, GZA, the genius. Happy 58th birthday to American R&B soul singer James DeBarge. Also turning 58 today is American singer, songwriter, pianist, and producer Tori Amos. Happy 63rd birthday to English-born American guitarist and songwriter Vernon Reid of the band Living Colour. One of the greatest solos in rock history. Cult of Personality. You need to check that out if you've never heard of it. It's also CM Punk's theme song. Also turning 63 today is American semi-retired wrestler Stevie Ray from one of my other favorite tag teams of all time, Harlem Heat. Something about these wrestlers on August 22nd. Turning 65 today is American baseball player and coach Paul Molitor. Turning 68 today is American weightlifter, wrestler, and manager of my favorite tag team of all time, LOD, Paul Ellering. What a rush. Turning 74 today is American actress and producer, most famous for her Laverne and Shirley role, Cindy Williams, Shavazel, Something Incorporated. We're gonna do it. Alright, I'm done. Happy 80th birthday to American football player and coach, Big Tuna, Bill Parcells, former coach of the Cowboys. Man, you created this great Pro Bowl of a team, and then you left us with Wade. Damn it. Jerry, you should have gave the man his space. Let him create and do his thing. But I digress. And turning 82 today is American baseball player, Carl Yastrzemski. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. You know what that means, right? You pay nothing. It's free 99. It's a free app that you put on your phone, and it lets you go from there. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Check out Anchor.
Everything seems different from down here.
I'm a ninja MC, just doing what I wanna do. And you ain't even got the testicular fortitude. I'm in stealth mode, you can't even hold me. Jumped over a pool full of snakes like I'm Kobe. I'm linking to the oldies, frontin' like you know me. Dropping from the sky, swinging swords like Shinobi. I'm more like Ginobili. Bring it to the left side, click, click, still represent that Midwest side. Now let's ride higher than Iron Man. Eating 3 meals a day, getting all my vitamins. I'm just dope, man, never been a D-boy. Plus I have the glow like my name is Bruce Leroy. I can feel it in the rhythm of the night. If my vision will ignite, then I'm Kid Dynamite. My words, my weapons will paralyze you with paragraphs. Sharper than a samurai sword to chop your man ass.
I wish you wouldn't keep appearing and disappearing so suddenly. You're making me very dizzy.
Ninja MC, be the jack of all trades. And I came to get these suckers like Jack Spade. Even John Slade when I fade in the gray. And I talk greasier than Duke kids with the waves. My words spread, kinda like the plague. Peanut butter on bread and cheerleaders' legs. Yeah, my words spread like butter on my eggs. Shrapnel from shells, exposure from grenades. Talk to my cousin I ain't heard from in days. Said the flow senseless, had him stuck in the days. Like my old man, cause I'm stuck in my ways. Got my eyes on tomorrow, but I'm stuck in today. Do my own thing, give up what they say. Why you throwing up signs like you here to play charades? Nobody cares about the click that you claim. It's just EA Sports, just getting to the game.
And a special mention to those no longer with us. This past Thursday, we lost Japanese actor and martial artist Sonny Chiba. Born Sadao Maeda on January 22, 1939 in Fukuoka, Japan, he was one of the first actors to achieve stardom through his skills in martial arts, initially in Japan and later before an international audience. In early August of this year, Chiba became ill with COVID-19. Initially, he was treated at home, but was hospitalized a few days later on August 8th when he developed pneumonia. He died from complications of COVID-19 on August 19, 2021, aged 82. Chiba had not been vaccinated, according to his agency. Lane Staley was an American musician. Born Lane Thomas Staley on August 22, 1967, in Kirkland, Washington, he's best known as the original lead singer of the rock band Alice in Chains, which rose to international fame in the early 1990s as part of Seattle's grunge movement. Staley was known for his distinctive vocal style and tenor voice, as well as his harmonizing with the guitarist/vocalist Jerry Cantrell. Staley was also a member of the glam metal bands Sleaze and Alice in Chains and the supergroups Mad Season and Class of '99. Man in the Box, the second single from Alice in Chains' debut album Facelift, garnered Staley critical recognition for his vocal style. Alice in Chains' EP Jar of Flies in '94 debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, making it Alice in Chains' first record and the first ever EP to top the chart. However, Staley's deteriorating condition due to heroin abuse led him to enter a rehabilitation clinic. He began to work on a side project with several Seattle musicians, Mike McCready of Pearl Jam, Barrett Martin of Screaming Trees, and John Baker Saunders of The Walkabouts, which came to be Mad Season, while Alice in Chains went into hiatus. During Alice in Chains' hiatus, reports of Staley's drug addiction began to gain widespread circulation in fan and media communities, in part due to his changes in his physical condition brought on by prolonged heroin abuse. On April 10, 1996, the band returned with a performance on MTV Unplugged in New York. It was their first concert in 2.5 years. From mid-1996 onwards, Staley was out of the public spotlight, never to perform live again. He struggled with depression and addiction for much of his adult life. Staley was ranked at number 27 on Hit Parader's list of heavy metal's all-time top 100 vocalists in 2006 and at number 42 on Complex's magazine list of the 50 best lead singers of all time in 2012. Seattle officially declared August 22, 2019 as Lane Staley Day. On April 19, 2002, Staley's accountants contacted his former manager, Susan Silver, and informed her that no money had been withdrawn from the singer's bank account in 2 weeks. Silver then contacted Staley's mother, Nancy McCollum, who placed a call with 911 to say she had not heard from him in about 2 weeks. The police went with McCollum and her ex-husband, Jim Elmer, to Staley's home. It was reported that the 6-foot Staley weighed only 86 pounds when his body was discovered. Staley's body was partially decomposed when he was found. Medical examiners had to identify the body by comparing dental records. Years later, McCollum revealed that 2 days before Staley's body was found, she went to his apartment to let him know about the death of Demery Parrott's brother, but there was no answer. When she got the phone call to check on her son 2 days later, she was not surprised that Staley had not responded. There was some mail by his door. Staley owned a cat named Sadie at the time, and was usually quiet upon hearing Sadie meow. McCollum became worried it was a call of distress. Still not receiving an answer from Staley, McCollum called 911. The autopsy and toxicology report on Staley's body revealed that he died from a mixture of heroin and cocaine, known as speedball. The autopsy concluded that Staley died 2 weeks before his body was found, on April 5th, the same day fellow grunge icon Kurt Cobain died 8 years prior. Staley's death was classified as accidental. Staley's Alice in Chains bandmates issued the following statement. It's good to be with friends and family as we struggle to deal with this immense loss and try to celebrate this immense life. We are looking for the usual things, comfort, purpose, answers, something to hold on to, a way to let him go in peace. Mostly we are feeling heartbroken over the death of our beautiful friend. He was a sweet man with a keen sense of humor and a deep sense of humanity. He was an amazing musician, an inspiration, and a comfort to so many. He made great music and gifted it to the world. We are proud to have known him, to be his friend, and to create music with him. For the past decade, Lane struggled greatly. We can only hope that he has at last found some peace. We love you, Lane, dearly, and we will miss you endlessly. He was 34 at the time of his death. Valerie Harper was an American actress. Born Valerie Catherine Harper on August 22, 1939, in Suffern, New York, she began her career as a dancer on Broadway, making her debut in the musical Take Me Along in 1959. She is best remembered for her role as Rhoda Morgenstern on The Mary Tyler Moore Show from 1970 to 1977, and its spin-off Rhoda from 1974 to 1978. For her work on Mary Tyler Moore, she thrice received the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series, and later received the award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series for Rhoda. From 1986 to 1987, she appeared as Valerie Hogan on the sitcom Valerie. Her film appearances include roles in Freebie and the Bean, and Chapter 2, both of which garnered her Golden Globe Award nominations. She returned to stage work in her later career, appearing in several Broadway productions. In 2010, she was nominated for the Tony Award for Best Actress in a Play for her performance as Tallulah Bankhead in the play Looped. In 2009, Harper was diagnosed with lung cancer. She announced on March 6, 2013, that tests from a January hospital stay revealed she had a rare condition where cancer cells spread into the membrane surrounding the brain. She explained her doctors had given her as little as 3 months to live. Although the disease was considered incurable, her doctors said they were treating her with chemotherapy to try to slow its progress. In April 2014, Harper said she was responding well to the treatment. On July 30th, 2015, she was hospitalized in Maine after falling unconscious and taken via medevac to a larger hospital for further treatment. She was later discharged. In 2016, Harper continued battling cancer with treatment at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, but was well enough to appear in the short film My Mom and the Girl, based on the experiences of director and writer Susie Singer Carter, whose mother has Alzheimer's disease. In September 2017, she said people are saying she's on her way to death, and quickly. Now it's 5 years instead of 3 months. I'm going to fight this. I'm going to see a way. At the time, she was developing a television series with Carter. By July 2019, she was on a regimen of a multitude of medications and chemotherapy drugs and was experiencing extreme physical and painful challenges that required around-the-clock 24/7 care. Harper died on the morning of August 30th, 2019 in Los Angeles at the age of 80. Rest easy, y'all. Gary Earl Grice, better known by his stage name GZA or The Genius, was born on August 22, 1966. He's an American rapper and songwriter. A founding member of the hip-hop group the Wu-Tang Clan, GZA is the group's spiritual head, being both the first member in the group to receive a record deal and being the oldest member. He has appeared on his fellow clan members' solo projects and has maintained a successful solo career, starting with Liquid Swords in 1995. His lyrical style often dismisses typical rap storylines in favor of science and wide-ranging philosophies, and has been characterized as armed with sharp metaphors and a smooth flow. An analysis of GZA's lyrics found that he has the second largest vocabulary in popular hip-hop music. He teamed up with an education group to promote science education in New York City through hip-hop. Now, growing up in the 80s and 90s, I wasn't really big into comic books. My comic book heroes were wrestlers and rappers. Because just like wrestlers, rappers have a certain persona that they have to maintain and uphold. A certain mystique. Kind of like superheroes. They have their alter ego, Clark Kent, who goes into the phone booth and becomes Superman. Bruce Wayne comes out of his dungeon to become Batman. In the Wu-Tang Clan, I've always looked at them as superheroes, and they're heavily influenced by comics. That's one of their influences. Now, for years, the RZA, the head of the Wu-Tang Clan, has been looked at as somewhat of a Professor X in the hip-hop world. He's the one responsible for bringing all these different MCs from different backgrounds, their superpowers combined, making these classic tracks, these classic albums. The GZA has always been looked at as the cerebral one of the crew. Even in the company of superbly talented peers, his intelligence is head and shoulders above the rest, at least. Now, within the actual X-Men group, there's a member who's known for his genius-level intellect, and he goes by the name Beast. And that brings us to Across the Lines. Dr. Henry Philip Hank McCoy is a fictional superhero appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics and is a founding member of the X-Men. A brilliant scientist, athlete, and bibliophile, at first the only thing that indicated that Hank McCoy was a mutant were large hands and feet, and later an overall simian aesthetic. However, an experiment to enhance his already superhuman strength and agility transformed him into a blue-furred ape creature and later a blue lion man. Beast is a genius in genetics and biology and enjoys quoting Shakespeare. His even-handed and professional attitude tend to keep the other members from panicking in situations. In his earlier years, the GZA developed an interest in writing, studying Mother Goose and nursery rhyme. In 1974 to 1976, before moving from Staten Island to Brooklyn, he listened to The Last Poets. However, he was attracted by profanity rather than content and didn't understand the underlying messages until many years later. The Last Poets, as well as songs by the Isley Brothers, the Commodores, and the OJs, had a big part in his early life, especially regarding the tone and cadence of the speech. Later on, he began to listen to hip-hop and R&B, for example, by Secret Weapon and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. He formed a three-man group with his cousins Robert Diggs and Russell Jones, who would later be known as RZA and Old Dirty Bastard. At the time, he didn't like the sound of his voice. The group FOI, Force of the Imperial Master, and later All In Together, saw the three rapping and DJing, switching names and performing local shows. Since they lived in different boroughs, GZA and Old Dirty would travel from Brooklyn out to Staten Island to meet up with their cousin RZA, after which the three would travel across New York City and challenge other MCs to battles. He left school in the 10th grade, but nurtured his affection for science as he developed his skills as a lyricist. After some years of this, GZA was signed to Cold Chillin' Records as a solo artist under the name The Genius. He released his debut album, Words from the Genius, in 1991, produced mostly by Easy Mo B, but after it failed to sell as the label didn't promote it and his rocky experience on tour, Grice became fed up and asked to be released from the label. The album's beat selection is similar to the classic boom bap sound of the early 1990s, while the lyricism subject is the everyday situations of an individual living in the parts of New York. Introduced as one of the original 5 X-Men, Hank was a genius-level intellect whose mutation manifested itself in the form of a gorilla-like physiology and enhanced strength, but remained otherwise human-looking. Because of his combined brains and brawn, he's often regarded as a trope codifier of the genius bruiser trope. It wasn't until nearly a decade later, however, that Hank would transform into a literal blue furry beast man. Despite his monstrous appearance, Hank remained upbeat and witty for years and continued serving as the stalwart X-Man and professor at the Xavier Academy in the following decades. He also became known for his pro-mutant activism and accolades in the fields of genetics and biochemistry. However, after M-Day, Hank grew angry and frustrated at his failures to prevent or reverse the depowering of almost all mutants and had a severe falling out with Cyclops over the morality of X-Force and other issues. From there, he became convinced that only he had the intellect to solve the problems facing mutant kind, to the concern of the rest of the X-Men, who called him out for his increasingly reckless and immoral actions. Upon the founding of Krakoa, little remained of the witty and kind Dr. McCoy, and Hank was appointed the head of the new X-Force to act as the new nation's mutant CIA, wielding a large amount of unchecked power which he believed only he had the intellect, right, and ability to hold. In 1992, GZA joined the Wu-Tang Clan, a group of 9 formed by his cousin RZA. GZA had some high-profile appearances on the group's debut album, Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers in 1993, including a solo track, Clan in the Front. This, combined with appearances on other Clan members' albums such as Return to the 36 Chambers, the Dirty Version, and Only Built for Cuban Links, brought him much recognition. According to Method Man, we form like Voltron, and GZA happens to be the head. In 2010, he spoke at Harvard University, and since then has visited, among others, MIT, Oxford, USC, NYU, Cornell, where he met with scientists such as David Kaiser and Sally W. Chisholm to seek inspiration. In 2012, he talked hip-hop and science with Neil deGrasse Tyson. To improve science education in New York City and beyond in late 2012, with the assistance of Columbia University's professor Christopher Emdin and website Rap Genius, he began work on a pilot program called Science Genius Battles, bringing attention to transforming, teaching, and learning science. This initiative motivates young high school students, especially African American and Latino students, who together make up 70% of New York City's student body, to learn science through hip-hop, creating scientific raps and engaging in a rap competition. In the Beast's earlier days, he was just the best and most studious of the students of Xavier University, but by now he's a world-renowned expert in every science there is, and when it comes to solving the science-based problem of the week, be it a virus, a killer robot that doesn't respond to I-beams, etc., he'll be the one to do it. Need a device to make the godlike Dark Phoenix's butt temporarily kickable? He'll whip it up in an hour. The big bad is using an alien spaceship left behind by the precursors. He'll pull up a chair and make it work for him in under an hour. Legacy virus? Get on it, Hank. And somehow, even with the superheroing and research work in all fields of science, Hank also finds time to be a regular on the talk show circuit. In the GZA spare time, when he wasn't going on the college public speaking circuit, he continued to work on a related new studio album called Dark Matter, which is based on a journey through space-time, universe, and physics. In late 2015, GZA canceled European tour dates to focus on working on the album with composer Vangelis. It is planned to be one in a series of albums related to Earth, with the following conceived around oceans. GZA hinted that the albums will be without parental advisory, profanity, and nudity. You see, the beast and the genius are the ones on the team that use their head. As the intelligent one, they come in when the team needs deep analysis, clever tactics, or there's highly technical work to be done. They're always prepared, and sometimes crazy prepared. Even under pressure, they can whip up a plan at moment's notice. The smart guys will be at the computer doing rapid-fire typing. Expect some fancy talk and techno-babble from these characters. Usually a support unit, they may leave the action stuff to the others. Of course, weak but skilled is always an effect for these guys. They can be expected to play a mean game of chess, though, but sometimes the smart guys are more street savvy than they appear. Those who follow the path of the badass bookworm are just as physically capable as they are mentally. They remain firmly planted as the smart guy, but are just as ready to jump in as everyone else. The results are often impressive and usually have the advantage of surprise. Now, who expects the little guy with glasses to be an ass kicker? The Beast and the GZA. Two superbly uber-intelligent individuals. And they just happen to be known as the brains of their crew, of their group, of their posse. Happy birthday, GZA. That was Across the Lines. So that wraps up another edition of Over the Culture Podcast. Please make sure to check out my other show, Happened in the 90s with my buddy Matt G, every Thursday, as well as our sister show, Crushgasm with Kendra. And congrats to Miguel Cabrera for hitting his 500th home run today with the Detroit Tigers. He spent most of his career in Detroit, and that itself is a feat. Y'all be cool now. Peace.